So I wanted to thank everyone, first of all, for all the well wishes from when I was sick last week. I actually am feeling 100% better now. I'm not, I don't think at 100% completely yet, but it still feels like 100% better than I was. I'm probably at about 90% at this point. Um, Fever's been gone. It was very short lived, which was nice. Um, and then I still have a bit of a cold, but if I'm being honest, I haven't been drinking the tea like I was before. Like day one, I was like killing the tea, and my fever completely went away. Right, that tea that I was telling you guys about, and now it's like, still a little bit of a fever. I mean, I'm sorry, the fever's still gone. Sorry, now I still have a little bit of a cold, so I'm gonna start drinking the tea again. There's a lot of caffeine in the tea, so it had me awake. I'm pretty sensitive to caffeine, so it kind of got me. But so that's where I am right now. I'm feeling a lot better. All the kids are back in school finally, and so they're all feeling a lot better. It was a tough week last week, so this one's gotten a lot better, and I'm almost back to my old self. So I'm so happy about that because it takes a lot. So please, ask me any questions you guys have. Thanks for the folks who've joined so far. Um, I guess until questions are asked, I'll just start talking about stuff. This week, I decided to go back kind of pure keto. I was noticing that my weight loss had slowed over the past few weeks, and I really want to get it back going because my goal is to be at my goal, right, the 175, by by May. And the only way I'll get there is if I, really, start going hardcore again on my keto. So this week I am removing all the excess carbs that I was eating. The sushi is gone this week. I know that's tough. And I likely won't even have my cheat meal on Sunday. So, yet I haven't fully removed that glass of wine once a week, though. So that might be an issue. um, there's not a ton of carbs in wine, so I try and tell myself that. But maybe if I did remove that, that might, increase the weight loss as well. So, do you guys have any questions? Is there an issue? I wonder if I did something wrong. Um, yeah, I think everything comes through. All live chat. Okay, yep, I think everything comes through. So, if you guys have any questions, please, ask them. I hope you guys aren't asking questions and I'm missing them because what if that's happening? One of you guys that's on, can you ask a question? Just in case I'm missing the questions because I'm wondering if something is. I am the worst at this. Okay, super chat sponsor. I don't know what that means. Chat viewing options, all. Okay, so I should be able to see the chats. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Gina. I got nervous that I couldn't see the chats. Okay, I couldn't see the questions. Okay, thank you so much for saying hi. um, but yeah, so I am back full court keto now. When let me not the fastest reader. When you do intermittent fasting, what is your routine? From what time do you eat from? Can you drink water the times you're not supposed to be eating? Yeah. So when I do intermittent fasting, I actually usually do it from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And those are the times that I eat, and I'm fasting the rest of the time. Now, when I am fasting, I drink tons of water. You have to drink tons of not you don't have to drink tons of water, but you have to drink water while you're fasting because you don't want to get dehydrated. You don't want to. You're not eating anything, and I think you should ensure that you're drinking water so that you stay hydrated, and also that helps to get the food processing through your body because really the point of the intermittent fasting is to ensure that you're getting full digestion in your body and you're not going to get that. I mean, and the water helps to speed that up. I also would potentially include some lemon in the water. I usually do my apple cider vinegar shot during my fasting time as well. And then every so often, if I'm starving, like if I come back from an early workout and I know that I just got home and it's 8 o'clock and I'm not eating until noon, sometimes I'll even do my keto coffee, which is that bulletproof coffee where there's butter and coconut oil or MCT oil depending on how you make it, and potentially either heavy cream or half and half. So I will do some different things while I'm fasting if it's like a really rough time, like I had a heavy workout. But for the most part, just water, maybe some black coffee. But yeah, so like I was saying earlier, straight back to full blown keto this week. No problem, Rebecca. But straight back to full blown keto this week. So I've been eating back to like eggs and my ground turkey salad that I didn't have that all last week. It was last week was tough, so of course I didn't have everything that I normally have. And then I've been going with my deli turkey roll ups with the mustard in there. I mean, I'm going for it. I actually have a video coming out soon. You're gonna hear kids soon because I heard mommy. So I have a video coming out soon with what I eat in a day when I started my weight loss journey. I'm planning on doing that one on either tomorrow or Friday, and then I have a video coming out of what I eat in a day keto, and so that's gonna be next week. Okay, 1 second, guys. I got kids coming in. Yes.
I'm trying to give you a kiss.
Okay. Don't hit the camera. Come around this way, buddy. All
Okay.
right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Mwah, love you.
Please watch my mom's next video.
You are so cute. All right. I love you, buddy. I'll see you later. Okay.
Please watch my mom's next video.
Okay. Great video coming. Must be new subscriber. Nice to meet you. Thank you. They are so funny. Did you notice that he didn't even give me a kiss? He just really just wanted to be on camera. He didn't say bye or anything. All right, buddy. See you later. I love you.
I love you too, Mommy.
Okay. All right, buddy. Go on. Go on to bed.
Yeah.
They are hilarious.
I'm hilarious.
Oh my goodness. So that's what I deal with every day. So thank you so much. They are so funny. I can't believe they popped in the video like that. And then he's saying I'm sorry, that just cracked me up. For him to say at the end, please watch my mom's next video. That's what he says at the end of all my videos. So I'm sorry, I got a real kick out of him just randomly deciding to say that now. So anyways, so I'm sorry, I'm cracking up. Hold up. For intermittent fasting, what I plan on doing is, I've been doing pretty much 12/8s across the board. I've been, previously what I'd done is I do a 12/12, so 12 hours of fasting, 12 hours of the time that I could eat, and then when I'd be like in a heavy push to lose weight, I'd go 16/8s, right? Or at least 4 days a week of 16/8s and then 3 days of the 12/12s. And so lately I've just been doing 16/8s the whole time, just pretty much every day of the week, simply because I've been having sometimes poor eating choices, but also just sometimes it's a lot going on and I don't have time to eat, and so I have to like force myself to eat during those 8 hours, or it's just with everyone kind of being sick and everything else going on, and also with my workouts and trying to get my schedule, I've been struggling to get food in. Do you limit meals or still 3 meals? It depends. I try and listen to my body. One thing that I've learned through keto and intermittent fasting is to really listen to my body. And I realized that I'm not as hungry as I thought I was, or as I felt like I was before when I was over 300 pounds. I felt like I was always hungry, always wanting to eat, and so I was always eating. But now, as I listen to my body a lot more, I eat as my body needs it. So what I realize is that when I work out heavy, so if I get 1,000 calories burned in the morning through a workout of my HIIT workouts with some cardio afterwards or strength training, and then now I'm trying to incorporate yoga again. I actually got that in this week. Thank goodness. It had been so long. But anyways, now that I do that, when I do that, I realize that I need to eat more on those days. I'm hungry more often on those days. So I've got somebody else just join me. I'm hungry more often on those days. Hi, Princess. Come around this way, please. I'm hungry more often on those days. So when that's the case, I tend to have 3 meals. Most days, though, I find that 2 meals is sufficient. Yes, exactly. Chug some water and reevaluate after that. Yep. That's exactly what I try and do. Hi, buddy. Okay. All right. Got another. All right. Bye-bye, buddy. Good night. Love you. All right. head on, go on to bed. Love you guys. So I thought this was the perfect time to do my Q&A because, love you, because they're usually in bed right now. But I guess today they decided to stay up a little later or come down and give mommy kisses, which is really, I mean, they're just procrastinating for bedtime. They don't feel like going to bed. Oh, look at you waving. Somebody wants her own channel, apparently. I swear she's. I know how many babies, right? It seemed like there were 17 people who came in here, 17 kids. I have four. I have four kids, and you saw they're all tiny. They're all little ones. My oldest is 9. So, um, but I mean, it's not like, honestly, I wish I could be like that person who's like, oh, I gained weight because of the babies. No, that's not the case at all. I was 300 pounds before I ever even had any kids. So I just gained weight because because I, ate poorly. Yes, I am extremely busy. I know. Um, that's why sometimes, so I try and get my videos out I try and get a workout out on Sundays, like a workout video out on Sundays. I try and get my vlog out on Mondays and an additional video on Thursday with tips or tricks or what I eat in a day, something like that. And I've been struggling the last few weeks to get anything more than just my vlog out because it takes a long. I have so many videos taped. I mean, I can't tell you how many videos I have taped. I have like what I eat in a day. When I started my weight loss journey, that's all taped. What I eat in a day, keto's all taped. All these different ones are. I have the videos done. It's just that I haven't had time to edit it and put them out there. So I mean, I feel terrible because it's like I've done these videos and I want to get them out there, and then I just haven't had the time to edit them. So yes, editing is awful. I agree, Gina. Thank you. Editing is not fun at all. Like it takes so much time. It takes me like 4 hours to edit my vlogs. I'm like, maybe I should do them differently so it'll take less time. But I don't know. Princess, no, what are you doing? She was the last one to actually get the fever that we all ended up with. I don't know if it was a fever or the flu. I'm gonna just tilt it down a little bit because I know everybody would rather see you than me anyway. Hi, Chris. So, for those who don't know my story, I actually, in a little over a year's time, I lost nearly 100 pounds. My highest was 327 pounds, and she's my reason, basically. I decided that I didn't want her to go through the same struggles that I went through, so I made sure that I lost the weight so that I could set, a healthy foundation for her. So, I mean, you saw my boys come in. If you hadn't just joined, you saw my boys come in, and they are all, in pretty good shape, right? And my husband is, I mean, he's like, the statue of David. So they kind of modeled after him, and they took after him shape and everything. But when she came, she was me. I mean, and still is. She looks like me. She acts like me, sometimes to a fault. So, let me touch it so I don't lose it. Victoria, do you eat or drink anything besides water when you're intermittent fasting? I do sometimes drink some coffee. See you later, Princess. I will drink coffee when I'm during my fasting times. Sometimes I'll add some lemon to my water. I also will do my apple cider vinegar shot during my intermittent fasting, and I do my apple cider vinegar shot a little differently. I add some cayenne pepper to it. I add some cream of tartar to it, and I also add cumin drops to it, or not cumin, curcumin drops to it, so that I can. Here, let me switch this back to a regular angle. I add those things because they help with joints and different digestive things. So I do that during my intermittent fasting as well. And sometimes when I'm starving and I'm struggling and I'm like, I'm gonna eat something, if I don't do something to curb this hunger, I'll have either tea or sometimes even my bulletproof coffee. So, but the bulletproof coffee, that's usually when I'm struggling. Like I had, like if I've worked out pretty heavy that morning, then I need something, and sometimes that's the bulletproof coffee, just to help me out. So, um, so yeah, so the reason I started this, going back to my story, the reason I started my YouTube channel was really because I had plateaued for several months after losing almost 100 pounds, and I was nowhere near my goal. No problem, Victoria. So yeah, I was nowhere near my goal, and so I wanted to continue pushing to reach my goal, and I kind of needed something to push me because I was healthy, I was feeling better, and I was already setting the example for my babies. Like she was wanting to work out, so and I was still working out every day, but I got a little nervous about going back up in weight, and so I started this YouTube channel to keep myself accountable and hopefully motivate others. And that's why I do the weekly vlogs, the weekly weight loss vlogs, to hopefully keep myself accountable and ideally motivate others in their weight loss journey and fitness journey, because it's so important that we get healthy in general as a people. I'm always so nervous about the idea of being on a bunch of pills. Like I have friends our age who are taking. Hey Jazzo, thank you so much. I have friends who our age that are taking like what is it? Taking like high blood pressure pills and all these different things, and it freaks me out. Like I don't want to do that. Saying from another YouTuber who said, "Don't let perfect get in the way of good." Yeah, I like that idea, that concept, Gina. I'm pushing the wrong button. Yeah, we can't let. It's true. Gina just wrote that she heard something from another YouTuber. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. Or even get in the way of better, right? And I absolutely agree with that concept because I tend to be a perfectionist, and that's something I've had to tell myself over time. Like, it's not going to be perfect. Honestly, that might be why it takes me so long to edit my videos because I let perfect get in the way of good. um, so yeah, but I've enjoyed doing this YouTube thing, and I'm hopefully helping others to take their health and fitness seriously because like I said, I have friends who are on high blood pressure pills at 35, and I'm like, wait, that's crazy. And sometimes they aren't even overweight. You don't necessarily have to be overweight to have some health issues. Sometimes it's just that they still eat poorly, but some people have higher metabolisms than others, and so they don't necessarily gain the weight, or for whatever the reason is, they just don't gain the weight, but their eating is poor, and so, or they're putting things into their bodies that shouldn't be, a lot of processed foods, yada yada yada. We've all heard it, but it does affect like what we're doing in terms of like having to take a bunch of pills and being medicated a lot, as we get in our older years. And so that freaks me out. And so I'm trying to avoid that for my family, at least. And hopefully for you guys, if I can help inspire you in any way. So any other questions? Absolutely. I want to suddenly drop dead. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right, exactly. I'm right with you. It's like, Gina was saying she'd rather just suddenly drop dead than wither away. And it's like, I'm with you. Like, I'd rather just be, hopefully that drop dead happens at like 97, right? But I want to grow old and be healthy the whole time. Like, I am so impressed, I guess, or I guess impressed. I can't think of another word, but my grandmothers, both of them. My grandmother on my mom's side lived until she was 89, and well, she was almost 89. She was 88. She would be 89 a month later, but she was healthy the whole time. Like she cooked Thanksgiving dinner, the year before she passed away. She was in the hospital for about 3 months, but at 88 years old, and she honestly, it felt like she was holding on for us because we weren't ready for her to go. And once everyone said that they were ready for her, they would be okay with her letting go, she let go. Oh, wow. Hi, Retta. Oh, that's so funny. For my cousin's wedding, yeah. And my other grandmother is 91 now. No, she's, what is it? This is 90, what year is this? 2018, so she'll be 94 this year. Oh my goodness. So yeah, my other grandmother's 94, or about to be 94, and she's fine too. Not a ton of health issues. She's still moving around, still can do stuff, and still has the sharpest mind that I know. Like she can tell a story about when my dad was 6 months old. So, it's just that's how I want to be. And so I always think about that when it comes to health and fitness and just a healthy lifestyle in general. So, any other questions, guys? Um, I know it's only been about 20 minutes. I didn't know if folks were had some other questions because I have been like rambling on. So it's like, you probably were like, oh, should I ask a question and interrupt her? So sorry. Um, wow, loves your family. Thank you so much. My family is. Oh my family does have long lives. Yeah, so far, thank God, and we're hoping that that continues. Right. Um, it's tough, but they, back in the day, people took care of themselves a lot better than we do now. And I can't even necessarily say that. What it was is they didn't have what we have in terms of all the processed foods, in terms of the luxuries of not having be not walking places. We can drive everywhere. So I'm gonna read another question. I'm struggling to kickstart my weight loss journey. Any advice for someone just starting out at present, 231 pounds, and really looking for motivation? How do you stay grounded and on track? So I think when starting your weight loss journey, and I actually have a video on this, on how to start your weight loss journey, to me the most important thing is finding your reason, right? Finding your motivation. What is that thing that's going to push you forward and keep you committed? Like for me, I always say it's my daughter. She and I have 4 kids, so I mean all of them, all of them are a part of it. But she's the youngest, she's the baby, and she is essentially a mini me. And so I want to ensure that I'm healthy for her. And every time I go and feel like I can just, eat whatever I want and do all this craziness, or I don't feel like working out today, I always think, what am I showing her? So that is my motivation. So it's finding your motivation. It may not be a child. It might be, you know what? I'm tired of having to buy new clothes all the time because I can't fit in my old clothes. That was one of my motivations too, because I remember the largest size I ever bought was a 26, and I was struggling in those. Like I was squeezing into those size 26 pants. They were so tight on me, and I was like, I am not buying a 28, because I remember when people would be a 20, were a size 28, and I was like a size 18, 20, and I was thinking, wow, 28 is so big in my mind, right? And I'm like, crap, now I'm a 28, and I'm like, so even if I'm sitting here thinking that I'm, thinking I'm smaller, I'm not. I wear a size 28. Even though I'm squeezing these 26s and they're about to bust at the seams, I'm lying to myself. So I'm like, I'm not buying a 28. And so that's also a part of the motivation. Does my husband help at all with what? You mean with my weight loss? He does not help with my weight loss. In terms of like, buying me foods or whatever. But he is really supportive in terms of like, I'm right now sitting on a bike, on a one of these recumbent bikes. He bought me this in 2008 because I said, I needed this bike because it was going to help me, lose weight, and I really needed it, and blah blah blah. I was always saying I needed something. Like you guys have seen, if you've watched any of my videos, you've seen the punching man behind me. It's called Bob. Bob's behind me. He bought me that because I said I was gonna. My exercise of choice at that point was to like box, and so I needed this Bob thing so badly. And so he does support me in terms of kind of being there when there's certain things that I need. But in terms of like identifying foods, he's 180 pounds, so and knowing about weight loss and all that stuff, and health and fitness isn't necessarily where necessarily his strength, right? He's never had to lose weight in his whole life. He's always been in great shape. Like I said, he's essentially the statue of David. So I saw a question that came up, but he supports with the children. So if I need to go work out, or if I need to take a video, or if I need to do different things, he'll come in, he'll help me out. I mean, he'll have the children usually during those times, and sometimes they'll come bombarding in because frankly, nobody can keep their eye on 4 kids all the time. No problem, Jody. So someone asked about the headaches. How do you get through the headaches? A lot of times, for me getting through the headaches, I do a lot of water. That helps. Also, Himalayan salt. So if you can put a little bit of salt in your either apple cider vinegar or even a little cup of water and just drink it down, that'll help a little bit. So because you have to keep your electrolytes up. A lot of times those headaches come from us lacking electrolytes. So the Himalayan salt can help with that. The additional water can help with that. Also, excuse me, a lot of the herbal teas. Like sometimes if the headache's really, really rough, I'll drink some herbal tea and that'll help as well. So those are things that kind of got me through the headaches. Um, what else? I forgot what we were talking about. And I think I answered the question though. How do you stay motivated while working out? So the way I stay motivated working out is I do different types of workouts, right? Because see, what happened was, I hear you. Like I was initially when I first started my journey, I would like go to the gym and I'd be on the elliptical for 45 minutes, and then I'd go and do some weights, lift weights. If arms day I had 4 or 5 machines I'd use, legs day I had 4 or 5 machines I'd use, and that was my workout all the time. And it got so boring to where I ended up just like not going, like slowly not going for like a month, and then trying to push myself and go back, right? But it's because I didn't know what else to do. So the way I stay motivated now with working out is I either take classes at the gym, or now I've joined a boot camp. Excuse me, sorry about that. I joined a boot camp that is nearby, and oh my gosh, I'm having a burping fit. Sorry about that. That is nearby, and it's actually pretty low, pretty good on cost. I don't know and so what I do is I join the boot camp, and so that means every day it's going to be a different workout. So I mean that's key for me. When I joined the first boot camp, which was Hard Body Outdoor Fitness, which is still by far my favorite boot camp ever. He took a little bit of a hiatus for a couple months, but he's coming back in the spring, and I'll be back with him in the spring. That's my favorite one, and again, every single class is a different workout, and so that kept me motivated because I'm always doing something different. Um, Playing those ropes, I know. So the ropes. So it's funny. You mentioned she'd mentioned about the way I'm doing the ropes in my workouts. The thing is, when I first started those, I could not fling those ropes. Like I was so tired by like you go 1, 2, and I'm like done. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's all I got with the ropes. Like I was so extremely tired because it's hard at first, and it's hard at second. It's hard for a few months. And then one day it starts to kick in a little more and a little more, and you realize that you can do things that you'd never been able to do. So like right now, I talk about this sometimes. My favorite workout is jumping jacks. I love jumping jacks, and I also love jump squats, which just sounds insane to me, right? At least it used to. Even saying it now sounds weird. But when I started my weight loss journey, even when I started at boot camp with Hard Body Outdoor Fitness, I couldn't do jumping jacks. I had to do the modified jumping jacks where you're not actually jumping because I couldn't jump. My knees were so bad, my feet were so bad, and then also I was just I didn't have the strength anymore that I used to have because I'm a former basketball player, so I actually used to be able to work out and stuff and be able to do things. I mean, I was never small. Even when I played basketball, I was like 250 pounds. So it's not like I was small, but, I could still get up and down the court. I could still run and stuff. And I lost that. No, I wasn't 250. I was 230 when I played basketball. But anyways, I lost that over time. I lost the ability to jump and run and do all those different things. So, I mean, you can lose that over time, and you can get it back. That's the cool thing. Like, it can come back. Like I started working out and I started losing weight, and my knees, which were bad from having all this weight on me for so many years, essentially my whole life, right? And then also playing basketball with all the weight on me. I still, my knees don't hurt like that anymore. Like every so often they might bother me. I would say maybe once a month I may have to ice them. I guess if I iced them more, I probably wouldn't have to ice. They'd probably get to the point where I would never have to ice them. But, maybe once a month I might ice my knees, but they don't bother me. My feet, I have plantar fasciitis in both my heels, and both have gotten a million times better. So, I mean, just losing the weight has helped me so much to continue forward. And that also kind of motivates me because I lose the weight and now not only am I looking better, like I'm thinner and stuff like that, which is I can't even believe it. Sometimes I don't know who I am when I walk past the mirror. Like I'm not even kidding. I'll be like, wait, what? Oh my gosh. Like and I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's my arm. You know, like because it's just so crazy when you've been over 300 pounds for so long, or when you've been overweight your entire life. Like there was never a time when I wasn't shopping plus size. I've always been overweight. So for me to not only not be shopping plus size, but to also just kind of be a smaller person is crazy. So seeing that stuff also helps me keep motivated with working out because I'm like, I'm not going back. You know, so even if I eat poorly, especially I should say if I eat poorly, if I eat poorly one day, the next day I will definitely 100% be in the gym because I'm like I have to make sure that I'm not going back. So at least if I ate poorly, at least I got a workout in so I can burn some additional calories because that's always huge for me. Um, any other questions? I will ramble forever. I tell you, I don't know what is up. Any other questions, guys? Oh, do you take any supplements like G and C vitamins? So I do. I need to just do a video showing my supplements. And I had one taped and then I made a mistake and deleted it, which is so ridiculous. So I take this vegan multivitamin. I also take curcumin, which is it helps with like inflammation and also with the joints. I also take black cherry extract. I know that sounds nuts, but it helps with inflammation as well, and also helps with the joints. And of course, the apple cider vinegar. I always talk about that. And I recently started incorporating MCT oil and collagen. I know, like beef collagen. So if you're vegan, you can't do that. But I started incorporating that into my diet as well, just because it's supposed to help with so many different things, especially when it comes to knees and stuff. Um, how did you work out and continue even though you had knee pain or pain in your knees and feet? Because that's my current situation. I feel unmotivated because my feet hurt. Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, I know. So my feet were killing me the entire. Oh, I mean, it was so bad. So my doctors told me to stop working out because my feet were in so much pain from the plantar fasciitis. What I did was I went to physical therapy. Oh, hey, Tanya. I went to the physical therapy. Oops, I just hit the thing. Sorry. I went to physical therapy and to work on my feet, and so that actually helped a lot. I also, if you have plantar fasciitis, you might have to get a cortisone shot because that's like one of the only things that will take the pain away. So what I did was I got a cortisone shot. When was it? Oh gosh, I can't even remember. It was like a few months ago. It was like earlier at the beginning. It was toward the beginning of the year because I was setting up to do the cherry blossom race. So so I got one in like January, and that's when I was like almost 300 pounds. And I'm sorry, January of last year. So January of 2017. I got a cortisone shot because my feet had just been bothering me so much, and I was also planning to do this cherry blossom race, which they were telling me I probably shouldn't do. I shouldn't be running and jumping and blah blah with my feet hurting, but I got the cortisone shot, and I just kept going. My feet still hurt with the cortisone shot, so I would also ice my feet every night after working out, and then hey, I'm glad you found my channel. Thank you. And then after icing my feet, I would do all the stretches because there's a lot of stretches that you do when you have plantar fasciitis. All right, so and look some of those stretches up if you haven't already, and also consider doing physical therapy because that did help me a lot as well, along with the cortisone shot. And then my knees, I just had to deal with it. Honestly, I iced them all the time, but there's not that much you can do with your knees until you, except for icing them, and then as you lose the weight, strengthening your quads. Sorry, strengthening your quads. So I would do the leg extensions too to help strengthen my quads. Jazzo doesn't sound nuts at all. I take the women's multivitamin pack. They really give me a boost and help me focus a lot more. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think vitamins can be essential, especially when you're in keto. especially when you first start keto, right? Because you don't really know all about what you're supposed to be eating, and you're struggling trying to figure out how you're going to get in all your nutrients. So sometimes I would even add a little bit of green powder into my smoothie in the morning, into my protein shake, and then I ended up going to the protein powder that already has greens in it. It's that Garden of Life. What is it? Real green protein? I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a vegan protein made by Garden of Life, and that protein allows me to get my greens in, my additional nutrients in, while still being low in carbs and sticking to my keto. Um, because I think with keto it's pretty important to get those, to have a multivitamin or something that's going to give you those additional nutrients. And if you're not getting them through eating additional vegetables, then you want to at least take a multivitamin. What healthy snacks do you recommend? So if you're doing keto, some of the healthy snacks that I recommend are, I love like doing like a turkey roll up. That's what I call it. It's basically taking deli turkey and throwing some mustard in there, rolling it up, and I eat that. I also will eat, and this is probably nasty to some people, I'll eat boiled eggs. I won't eat the whole egg. I'll take out the yolk and just basically boiled egg whites. I'll have that with my keto coffee for breakfast sometimes. And sometimes I'll just eat that as a snack too, during the day at some point. I also swear by almonds. I love almonds. And that's whether I'm on keto or not. Almonds are like my love. Oh, yeah. And so, thank you, Tanya. Tanya written, we have our Diet Vets Challenge that we're still doing, and today's the last day to join. So if you guys would like to join the Diet Vet, the link should be in this video or in like my last 3 videos. We've got a really good group, and we've already lost. We've been doing it for like 5 days. We've already lost 18 pounds amongst the folks. Amongst the folks in the group. So it's we're going for it. We are not playing. It's goal setting, right? So if you are goal oriented, then this is golden, because it allows you to set a goal of 4% and work toward that goal. That's why I kind of like it better than the other challenges that I've done in the past, where it's just open, like, oh, I just want to lose as much weight as possible. It's like when you have a goal set, especially an achievable goal, it makes it more sustainable to lose the weight. So, I mean, 4% of weight loss in a month should really be helpful. And I mean, I enjoy it. I've enjoyed it, and I've noticed, a lot of us are losing the weight in this Diet Vet. And we've got a cool group. We're talking, we're chatting right there in the app. So definitely check it out sooner than later, because I think you got like 2.5 hours to join. So definitely consider it. Other healthy snacks that I do. Oh wait, no. Are you really restricted from eating carbs on keto? Yes. Yes, when you're on keto, you really want to reduce the carbs all the way down, like under about 20 carbs a day. And it depends. If you work out heavy, you can probably go up to about 30 carbs a day. But if you don't work out, I would say stay under 20. And the way it's hard to do. It really is. So you have to have your little tricks. So like I said, the snacks that I mentioned with eggs and the turkey roll-up, they have like no carbs at all in them. So you can eat those and be fine. Also, I do these Premier protein shakes you can get from Costco, and they're like, I think 4 or 5 carbs in them, if that. And they're delicious. And it's low in calories too, and but high in protein. It's like 30 grams of protein. And so it's tasty and it's easy. And sometimes I'll just do a regular protein shake too that I mix up as well. Yeah, exactly. Tanya's saying the only carb she does is through veggies, is through vegetables. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because meat doesn't have carbs in it. So essentially on keto, you're eating meat. For me, I don't like to eat a lot of fatty meats. So most of my meats are lean meats. I also, and I've talked about this before, and I've got a video coming out on this. When I do keto as low carb, high protein. Yeah, low carb, high protein, moderate fat. I don't do high fat just because, and I've mentioned this before, when I do too much fat, I get a little sick. Like I get nauseous. My stomach doesn't handle that much fat very well. So You just got to think about how you're going to do everything. Hey, Donna. Um, so yeah, that's kind of how I've done keto. But yeah, as Tanya was mentioning, the diet vets today is the last day to join. Actually, we got about 2 hours to join, and it's going to be. I mean, we're having so much fun in there. Like that. Okay, let me try. Oh shoot, there's two questions that came out at once. Hopefully, it's positive. When people say they do low carb, high fat, how is that possible? I thought fat. Shoot. Oh crap. Oh man. Something about that. So how is it possible to do low carb, high fat? Fat doesn't always have carbs in it, so you can do. Those people usually get their fats from meat and from oils. So like you can eat a really fatty piece of bacon and you're getting no carbs, but you're getting a lot of fat in there. Also, just cheeses have a lot of fat and almost no carbs. So those are things they're eating to get low carbs and high fat. Um, okay, thank you both. How about fruits? What fruits can you eat? So, Shanita, on keto, we usually stay away from fruits. I know it sounds crazy. Um, so, fat puts weight on. So, fat doesn't put weight on on keto because what's happening is on your body when you are taking in carbs, your body burns the carbs, right? And that's what the body uses for energy is carbs. But when you're on keto, you don't have the carbs, so your body uses fat for energy. So what it does is it constantly burns the fat. So even if you eat high fat, the body will burn that fat off the same way the same way it used to burn the carbs off. So everything you're doing is constantly burning off fat. So you could do high fat. I just don't like it. It doesn't work for me. I lost about 20 pounds on keto in 2016. I always make cabbage with turkey sausage meat. Yes, I love turkey sausage. Cabbage was my favorite thing to eat in the meal prep. So you sound like me with my ground turkey taco salad. I've got a recipe on here for that. I love the ground turkey taco salad. I have it constantly. It's like once a week. I also do this kale soup that I make every so often too. Now like once a week. Oops, I keep hitting the thing. There's so many different types of diet plans, and while I know the focus should be overall lifestyle change for people just starting out, what would you suggest the best sort of plan to go with? So my suggestion when you're just starting out would be portion control initially. Like I would start looking at small changes over time, because what happens is some people can just jump straight from eating whatever they want to going to keto. I was never that person. I had to make changes over time. So what I started with was portion control, and so I started eating like basically just eating less of what I used to eat. And I would document my meals in the Lose It app. So that worked for me. And I think it works for most people because you start to, if you're documenting what you're eating, and you don't have to do this forever. Like believe me, I don't document anymore, and I haven't in a long time. But if you start by documenting what you're eating, you'll start to see how much you're actually eating, and so you'll see, oh my goodness, I thought I didn't eat that much, and come to find out, I'm eating like 3,500 calories a day, or 4,000 or more, and so that's why documenting what you eat initially is a really good idea. And then you can start to cut the amount that you eat down. So maybe if you have a massive portion of chicken every day, or let's say you eat 4 slices of pizza every time you guys have pizza. Maybe next time you eat 3 slices. You just eat a little less every time. And then from there, you start looking at carbs. Like, okay, how can I reduce the carbs? If I'm having 300 carbs a day, how can I reduce that to 200 and then 100? And then you can move to like a keto or a low carb. At least that's what I found has been helpful and sustainable for most people. Hey, I have a question. I've been extra bloated, and a bit nauseous the last week or so, and gained a few pounds. Do you think that's normal on keto? I have gotten bloated and nauseous on keto, but for me, it's been when I've eaten a lot of high fats. I don't suggest high fats on keto. I actually suggest like a moderate fat. But then also, what could potentially be an issue sometimes is dairy. Some people have a tough time with dairy on keto. I'm not sure why. I've never had a tough time with dairy on keto, but others do. Frankly, I love dairy, just in general, and especially in keto because it helps me to make more meals feel like they have carbs in them, even though they don't. So, but it could be that. I would also maybe think about how often you're eating and when you're eating. So if you're eating too close to too late at night or things like that, that could be affecting whether or not you're nauseous. So I don't know for sure. And also maybe even looking at drinking more water and ensuring that you're getting more electrolytes in. So like I said, adding like the Himalayan salt to your as a part of like a supplement that you take. So essentially putting a little bit of Himalayan salt into a glass of water and drinking that down. I think it's because I'm not taking in carbs like I used to. So the food that I'm eating gets me full, but not for that many hours. Yeah. Not for more than a few hours. Um, yeah, I don't know. What I found is the first week or so on keto, I'm hungry. like I'm like, oh my gosh, I want food, and it actually made I started to think. I'm wondering, am I actually hungry, or do I just see food that I can't usually eat, and so now I want it? So I started to, again, like I mentioned earlier, listen to my body more. And once I began listening to my body more, I ate less, and then I was hungry less, and so the weight continued to come off. But I've seen people have massive meals and the weight still come off on keto because they eat almost no carbs and high fat. So for me, again, moderate fat for me, but I've seen people who eat high fat and the weight just drop right off still. So, but again, look at your water intake too if you're getting nauseous and not feeling well, because water can definitely play a big part in some of that too. So, any other questions, guys? Oh, no problem. Definitely going to answer. And seriously, think about joining that diet, Bets. I'm looking at the time. We've got about 2 hours left to join. It's $30. It's $30. It's a $30 bet. So essentially, you bet on yourself for $30, and then you get your money back when you lose the 4%. So you basically set a goal, and you say, okay, I'm gonna set a goal for 4%, and then I'm gonna get my money back when I reach my goal, because I'm gonna reach my goal. And especially with us in this group, it's a really supportive group. We're putting up. What are we doing? We're talking all the time, showing our meals. We're showing our progress. We're weighing ourselves every week. Also, the app, reminds you to weigh yourself every week. So it's another way of keeping yourself accountable. So think about joining. The link is in the description of this video and my last couple of videos as well. Okay, so cheat meals were the devil for me with keto. I would binge a lot, so I stopped keto altogether because I was off and on the diet. That happened to me too, especially over the holidays this past year. I realized that I was like fake ketoing, like I wasn't even on keto, sadly. Like I was like, oh, I'm doing keto, let me go low carb. And then, you're moderate fat, but what I found was I was eating so many additional carbs randomly that I wasn't losing weight, and sometimes even gained weight because I was eating essentially moderate fat and moderate carbs, which, at that point felt like high carbs, high fat. And so my body was trying to hold on to both, and, it can't burn both at the same time, not as well. So, so the same thing happened to me. So I had given it up for the holidays and then came back to it in January. Oh, I think I'm doing something to watch. Hopefully do a lot more. Thanks. I am going to be doing these a lot more. I'll be doing these every Wednesday at 9 o'clock for at least during the diet bet. And I'll probably start another diet bet in March. Actually, I'm going to be doing one in March as well. But we want to get this one for February going before we decide on March. But yeah, I'll be doing these every Wednesday at 9 o'clock because I just think it's a great way to respond to folks' questions, because I always try and respond on YouTube, but sometimes I miss some of the questions, and I just feel bad, especially from responding like 2 weeks later. So I thought this would be a great way to do this. So do you just eat meat and vegetables on keto? So I essentially just eat meat and vegetables. I actually do sometimes eat like a low carb bread, like one slice of low carb bread if I have a heavy workout day. And so it ends up being kind of a cheat for me. But during those days when I have that low carb bread, I'm still staying under 30 carbs that day. So, um, but some people eat berries. Some people also look at net carbs as opposed to actual carbs. I do total carbs. I find I lose more weight doing total carbs, but some folks do net carbs, which means total carbs minus um, fibers, dietary fibers, and they are able to lose the weight. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Most people do have to stay away from bread. I found a low carb bread at Aldi and at my regular grocery store. It's called Dave's, I think, at the regular grocery store. It's a thin sliced bread. But then I found one at Aldi too. And I mean, if any of you guys see my video on my Aldi's grocery haul, I live for Aldi. So now, ever since I found it like a month ago, I love Aldi. And so I found that they have some low carb breads. It's very similar to the one I was getting from the grocery store, and it's like 11 carbs. And if I was doing net carbs, which is total carbs minus dietary fibers, it would be like 9, I think, 9 carbs, if maybe even less than that. So if I can stick to one on those days, then I feel like I did something, and I feel like I didn't deprive myself so much. And I'll have one slice of bread. I've eaten that with like my salmon, because I love like smoked salmon with the really it used to be bagels and lox for me, right? But now I can't eat a bagel. Bagel has so many carbs. So I'll do my little low carb bread, throw some cream cheese on it, capers, and then my salmon, and oh my gosh, so good. Oh gosh, it's so good. And it's like 11 carbs total, because the rest of the stuff has no carbs in them. So no problem. Shanita, it is Shanita, right? Yep. Shanita, you should join our diet bet. Especially if you're just starting out, this would be a good group for you to start out with, to really, continue to push each other. I think it would be a great opportunity for you. And again, the link is right in the thing. The link is in the video. So, any other questions, guys? Anything else I can help with? It seems weird to have that dead silence right there. Sorry. So, if there's nothing else I can help with, I will be having another one of these next week, 9 o'clock, I believe, unless something happens. Oh, where are the babies? They were just all here. Like they were all here earlier in the video, and they all had to bedtime, right? But they all popped in at some point in the video, and my second boy. My second boy had the nerve to come in and say, "Please watch my mom's next video," like he says at the end of the videos. At the end of each of my videos, he says that, and I passed out. Like, I must have laughed for 15 minutes. So, like, the first 15 minutes of this video is me cracking up for him saying that. It was so funny. I couldn't believe he said that, just randomly, too. He's so funny. So, thank you guys so much for joining. I don't see too many more questions coming up. I love doing these. This actually makes things so much easier because I don't have to edit it, right? It's so much easier when it doesn't have to be edited. I'm telling you guys, I have like 10 videos already taped, unedited. So, and I'm trying to rack my brain of an easier, faster way to get things edited. So, oh shoot, I fell asleep. Hold up. At some point I'll do it. At some point I'll figure out a way to get things edited and out the door a lot faster. So right now it just hadn't happened yet. So thank you guys for joining. I will talk to you guys soon, and we can keep the conversation going in the comments. All right, talk to you later, guys. Bye. See you next week. Yep. Oh, thank you. That means so much that you say see you next week, because that means you actually join next week. Thanks. I'll talk to you guys. Bye. If I can figure out how to turn this off.